Hello, welcome to Grandpa's Workshop. As usual, I'm Loz and you're welcome in my workshop. Today's a Sunday, so it's a Sunday waffle, and it's more waffle than usual because of what's been happening over the past few days. Nana Sue's been a bit wobbly this week, and Thursday night she had a bit of an episode. We haven't got a formal diagnosis yet, but she was whisked off in an ambulance Thursday night and ended up in the local hospital stroke unit. So I don't know whether it's a TIA or an actual stroke, but she's lost the use of her left arm and leg. The upside is her cognition's fine and the speech has not been affected. So it's going to be an extended period of hospital. I'm hoping to get her home sooner rather than later and do the rest of her rehabilitation at home, but for the moment it's hospital based. And after looking pretty rough Thursday, Friday, she's back to herself, although, as I say, we're going to have to sort out the care packages for when she does get home. So, chin up. I know for a lot of you that's by the by, but there's a number of guys who've been with me from the start who liked, subscribed and regularly comment, and they're always mentioning Nana Sue and found it particularly funny when she photobombs when I'm trying to do stuff in the garage or in the garden. But yeah, we are a bit of a package deal, the best part of half a century, you know, so, and it's a bit of a strain when we're separated. Anyway, the kids have given me a weekend pass to decompress, and then I'll be back to going up every day in the afternoons next week. So aside from that, and I'll keep those of you that are interested posted, what have I been up to? Well, I'll show you in the background. I've managed to get printed off for a video that I told you I was going to do. I've printed off the templates for some push sticks for the table saw. So they're printed out, cut out, put on the timber. I'll show you somewhere. And when I get a chance, I'm going to cut them out, fine tune them, and we'll have a video on the Axminster table saw, and I'll give you a verdict on which I prefer, if any. Talking about the table saw, you noticed in the last video I put a top on it, and I put my felt back on the top, but I ran out of the WD-40, so while I was waiting to get more WD-40 to soak the felt back to provide that oil barrier to stop more rusting, as you can see it's rusted again. So I might even do a video showing you the steps, but there's millions of videos about how to de-rust cast iron tabletops. Right, there's that. Though the astute of you will have noticed that I've also kept the riving knife on, and for the first time since I bought the table saw, I've found the bits that hold the cover on, and I've finally plumbed in the 60mm tube to the 100mm outlet on the back. So I've got top and bottom dust extraction on the table saw now, and with that cover top and the riving knife, I'm feeling a little safer, but that's the subject of another video, and I'll go through. A while back I decided going forward, because the general purpose rip saw that came with the table is it's a 3.2mm curve, I'd go and get a fine tooth blade, a fine curve blade, sorry, for cross cutting, and I did, and then I opened that can of worms about the thickness of the body of the circular saw blade versus the curve, and the thickness of the riving knife at the back to stop pinching. But the one I've got, I reckon, is too thin, because that has a 2.1mm curve, and I think that might be a problem, not because of the thickness of the riving knife at the back is, I think, 2.2mm, the 2.2mm is supposed to be narrower than the kerf width, if you remember, which was 3.2, that's fine, but also slightly wider than the body of the blade. And because of the way the riving knife and the blade are held in the saw, the lateral positioning might be a problem. So I've given up on that blade. I've got myself a new crosscut blade. It's an Axminster Contract ECT saw blade, 254mm diameter, 30mm bore, but 80 teeth rather than the 40 or 45 teeth, and it's still a 3.2mm curve. I thought 3.2 looked a bit fat when I did the DIY crosscut sledge and cut through it. That was set me off down the rabbit hole of a thinner curve. I'm going to settle for the 3.2 and safety and a proper position relating to the riving knife, which I'm now keeping on at all times. So look forward to me doing some cross-cutting with the new Mitre Express cross-cut sled I've not videoed yet, right? I've also, and I can't remember who showed me one of these. It might have been Small of Workshop. It's, you know, in the UK and Europe, dado blades are a bit of a no-no in table saws, unlike the US YouTubers. So a dado blade is basically a pair of blades set apart so many millimetres with an infill set of shims, so you can actually cut a rebate or a rabbit in timber wider than a normal kerf, so as part of joining. Usually because the arbor isn't long enough on UK and European table saws to carry the dado blade, but there is something called a grooving blade, and I got off Tinternet after I watched the video. That gives us a 6mm curve. Now that's a possibility because my small boxes actually use, and I can't see a piece lying around, a 6mm oak faced MTF board, so it's just slightly over 6mm, so I could possibly cut the dados in the base of my boxes on the table saw. So that's nice, I'll show you that. It's a smaller blade, but then again I'm not cutting big thick pieces of wood, it'll be 18 to 22mm, a 6mm kerf. But it's only 150mm bore compared to the standard blades of 254, so I'll have to widen it up a bit even just to show a small bit on that. So that's another one. Now, last of all, I'm up to 878 subscribers, and I want to thank every one of you. Hang on. Pull my strap up. I want to thank every one of you for your subscriptions, and especially those of you that like and subscribe and put comments. There's between 30 and 50 of you comment on a semi-regular basis. There's a dozen of you who are liking and commenting practically everywhere, and I appreciate the crack. That's what I'm here for. So I'm not growing very fast. In actual fact, those of you that are creators as well, there's like a minimum height requirement for monetization of 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours in the past 12 months. When I was breaching 800 subs, I was up about 3,500 watch hours, and I thought I would hit the two measures together. As it happens, in the past 3 or 4 months, my watch hour per month has dropped. So I'm going backwards on the watch hours, even though I'm slowly creeping up. And I know why. I know that there are some guys, and you know as you are, who started after I did, and I've given shout outs, who are now easily 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 subs because of the quality of their videos, whereas mine are just waffling 10 minutes. Do you see what I mean? So I'm still on par for doing a small 2 giveaway at the thousands, but we'll see how we go over the next week when I learn how soon Anna Sue's coming home and how little time I might have to actually do videoing on top of pottering around in the workshop, half an hour at a time. But over Christmas I've added some more stuff. So in addition to the you've seen all this stuff, I've got measuring and marking out, a little dowel, a little dovetail saw, tools, but I've also got you 4 of the little Isarc CRV chisels from 1/4 inch 6mm to 1 inch 25mm, a faithful tool roll and a mallet. So what's in the box is enough for somebody who has very little tools to get started, and I might do it at 900 subs, or I might let it run on to 1,000, but I just thought I'd update you to that. And as I say, I'm very grateful for the subs, and I'm even more interested in hearing your comments about how you're doing in your garages and workshops and sheds, and what you're making. Still watching everybody on Instagram, but I've not worked out a workflow that splits showing videos and showing photographs and short videos on the Instagram compared to posting videos up. Right, I've got one more video that is ready to go. That's it. That's just a bit of a moan about my growing collection of parallel clamps, and I might throw that up in the week. The topping and tailing videos for the push sticks is there. They're just ready for me finishing them off. So I wish you all well. I'll try and at least keep you posted once a week for those who are interested in me as much as the content. And for the rest of you, as I say, thanks for your subs. You crack on in your workshops, and I'm going back in the warm for a cup of tea. See you next week, if not before. Take care, guys.